welcome to the deep dive. So you sent us something really interesting this time,
Yeah, what's
a
that?
Kaggle notebook. It's from Hien and Thanh and Nguyen.
Ah,
And what really grabbed us was their goal, building a tool using Gemini AI
Gemini, right. And what's the tool for?
to analyze YouTube videos and, get this, PDF documents too.
Wow, okay, that's ambitious. Think about that. Quickly
Yeah.
getting the main ideas from like long videos or really dense papers.
Exactly. That's what we're digging into today. Our mission, really, is to get inside this notebook, figure out how it ticks.
And pull out the interesting bits for our listeners.
Precisely. We'll focus on how they use three key Gen AI things: function calling, video understanding, and document analysis.
Sounds good. Function calling is a big one.
Yeah, and they even wrote a Medium post and made a YouTube video about building it. We'll touch on those too.
Nice. Provides extra context.
Right, let's just jump in.
It really is a fantastic example of AI in action, applying these advanced models to a really practical problem.
Which is,
Just the sheer amount of time it takes to process videos and documents. Hien and Thanh Nguyen, with their Kaggle work, they've tackled that head on.
absolutely. All right, so let's start with the video part. The notebook kicks off with a section on function declaration for video understanding.
Sounds a bit technical, maybe.
A little, but it's really just about giving the AI specific jobs it can do. The first one is called check a YouTuber exists.
Okay, makes sense. Checks if the link is real.
Pretty much. It makes sure the YouTube link you give it is actually valid.
Right. And what's clever is how it checks. It's not just like a simple check.
How so?
It starts with the basics, does the address belong to youtube.com or youtube.be?
Standard stuff.
Then it gets smarter. It tries to pull out the unique video ID from the URL.
That string of characters after V.
Exactly. Or sometimes it's in an embed path. If it can't find that ID, it knows it's probably not a proper YouTube video link.
Oh, I see. That seems like a small step, but important.
It's crucial. Avoids errors down the line. It really shows how important good input handling is for AI systems.
Right. Makes sense. And it does more than just look at the address format, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sends out a quick digital ping, what's called a head request, to a specific YouTube address, embed.
Okay, embed. And why does it do that?
It's a lightweight way to ask YouTube, hey, is this URL for a real video? Without downloading anything big.
Ah, clever. So it doesn't need the whole video.
Nope. If YouTube gives a thumbs up response, the function says, okay, this URL is good.
Nice. And they added a timeout too.
Yep, a short one. So the tool doesn't just hang there if the connection is slow or the URL is bad. Smart thinking.
It really is. Very practical.
It really highlights that need for solid validation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You got to trust the data you're feeding the AI before you analyze it.
Totally. Okay, so after checking the URL, what's next?
The next function they define is Analyze YouTube Video Flash. This is where the AI's video understanding power really shows up.
All right, analyze YouTube video flash. What's its job?
This one uses Gemini 2.0 Flash directly. You basically give it the YouTube URL, the one you just validated, and a text prompt.
A prompt telling it what you want, like summarize this.
Exactly. You tell it what you want to know from the video, and Gemini analyzes the content, video, audio, maybe transcripts to give you an answer based on your prompt.
And the notebook mentions something about file data parts.
Yeah, that's a key detail. The Gemini API can handle YouTube URLs directly as these file data parts. Meaning you, the user, don't need to download the huge video file or convert it or anything. Gemini just takes the YouTube link and works with it directly.
Whoa, okay, that sounds incredibly efficient.
It is a huge advantage. It streamlines the whole process.
So if I asked it, give me the main points of this lecture video, it could just do that.
Right.
From the URL.
Precisely. It looks at the visuals, listens to the audio, reads any text, understands the content, and then uses your prompt to generate the summary or find themes or answer specific questions you had about it.
That's pretty powerful. And then there's one more helper function mentioned, right? Extract first YouTube URL.
Right. That one's more of a utility. Makes things easier for the user.
How so?
Well, imagine you paste a big chunk of text into the tool. Maybe it has notes, other links, and somewhere in there is the YouTube URL you care about.
Okay.
This function uses what's called a regular expression, basically a fancy search pattern.
Right. Rejects.
Yeah, rejects. It scans the text and finds the first YouTube URL in there, pulls it out for you.
So you don't have to manually find and copy the link yourself.
Exactly. Just a convenience thing, but helpful.
And all these functions, the checker, the analyzer, the extractor, they're bundled together.
Yep. Into a list called YouTube Tools. That's the toolkit the AI has for dealing with YouTube videos.
Got it. The AI's video analysis toolkit.
Correct. And this collection is what Gemini can be told to use. That's where function calling comes in. The AI uses these specific tools. It doesn't just guess.
Okay, so we've got the tools.
Hmm.
Now, how do they actually use them? The notebook moves into the video understanding module next.
Right. So here they show setting up a chat with Gemini 2.0 Flash. Starts simple, but then they give it some detailed system instruction.
Like a job description for the AI.
Pretty much. The instructions say you're a helpful analyst for YouTube videos. You can summarize them, create time-stamped outlines, and you have these tools.
The YouTube tools we just talked about.
Exactly. It tells the AI to use extract first YouTube URL to find the link, check YouTube Lexis to validate it, and analyze YouTube Video Flash to do the actual analysis.
Yeah.
Very clear instructions.
It really is.
Yeah.
And they also enabled something called automatic function calling. What does that do for the user?
Ah, that's key. With that turned on, when you ask the chatbot to do something with a video,
Like summarize this video link.
yeah, the AI itself figures out which tools from YouTube tools it needs, and in what order. It'll automatically use the extractor, then the checker, then the analyzer.
All happened automatically.
Behind the scenes, yep. Makes the whole interaction feel much smoother, more natural for you.
Very cool. Okay, so the notebook then shows this off with a scripted mode. Uses some test prompts.
Yeah, and they use a specific YouTube link for this demo, https://www.youtube.com/watchvcu1qjzerhmg.
Wait a minute. Isn't that link?
Uh-huh. It's the link to Hien's own video about making this tool.
Huh. So it's analyzing itself. That's pretty meta.
It's a great way to show it works.
Hmm.
So the first prompt is simply summarize the video.
And what does it go back with?
A really good summary actually hits the main points. The tool's purpose, analyzing YouTube, summarizing, making time-stamped indexes, mentions it was built on Kaggle, uses Gemini 2.0 Flash, the API stuff.
The mission, the benefits.
Yeah, key takeaways like AI boosting productivity, potential in education. It's quite concise and accurate.
Okay, but it did more than just summarize, right? You mentioned timestamps.
Absolutely. It generated a detailed video index with timestamps.
Like chapters.
Exactly like chapters. Diving into video analysis, the need for summarization, vision of the tool, all the way to future directions, and in conclusion, each with the exact time it starts in the video.
Wow. That would be incredibly useful. If you need to find just one specific part of a long video.
A total time saver. Anyone who spent ages scrubbing through a video knows the pain. This index solves that.
Definitely. What was the next test prompt?
Generate a study guide for this video.
A study guide from the video.
Yep. And again, it produces this really well-structured guide. Sections like introduction, vision, functions, development, API, takeaways, future enhancements.
And does it just list the sections?
No. Under each section, it puts bullet points with relevant questions or topics to think about. It's more than just summarizing. It's creating learning aids.
That hints at some serious potential for AI in, like, personalized education.
It really does. Creating notes and study questions automatically from a video. Pretty amazing.
Okay, what else did they ask it?
They asked, what are the key takeaways in this video?
Did it nail them?
I'd say so. It listed things like the tool itself, Gemini 2.0 Flash AI, its purpose, summarizing timestamps for educational videos, the goal, saving time for researchers, students, the tech stack, Kaggle, Python, Gemini 2.0 Flash, the benefits, productivity, focusing on content logic, potential in education, and future plans like accuracy improvements, browser extension.
That's a really solid list. Covers all the bases.
Very comprehensive overview, yeah.
They didn't stop there, though, did they? I see a Q&A prompt.
Right. Create a list of Q&A for this video.
And the questions were good.
Genuinely insightful, I thought. Things like, what tool does this video discuss? Why is there a need for better YouTube analysis tools? What was the goal? And the answers were clear. Pulled right from the video content.
Did it cover the how as well?
Yep, touched on the development, the AI model used, APIs, benefits, future stuff, hit all the key angles.
Okay, one last thing for the video part. The quiz.
Ah, yes. Generate a short quiz along with answer keys for this video.
That's a good test of understanding.
Fantastic way to gauge it. And the AI made a multiple choice quiz.
What kind of questions?
About the tool's main goal, what Gemini AI does in the video, the tool's key tasks, future enhancement ideas. Pretty central stuff.
And crucially,
it provided the correct answer key, which shows, a really sophisticated level of understanding. It's not just repeating words, it's extracting core info and testing comprehension.
Okay, wow. That's a really thorough look at the video capabilities. Impressive stuff.
It really is.
All right, let's switch gears. How does this notebook handle documents? Specifically PDFs. It starts similarly, right? With a function declaration section.
Yep, same structure, but this time, tailored for PDF files, we saw how careful they were with validating YouTube links.
So they do something similar for PDFs. Makes sense.
Exactly. The first function here is valid pcurl. Same idea as the YouTube checker confirm the link actually points to a real PDF.
How does it check for PDFs? Is it just looking for .pdf at the end?
That's part of it. It checks if the URL looks right and ends with .pdf, but it does more.
What else?
It also sends that head request, just like for YouTube, but this time it looks at the content type header in the server's response.
Content type.
Yeah. If the server says the content type is application PDF, case doesn't matter, that's a really strong sign it's actually a PDF.
Ah, okay. Stronger than just the .pdf ending because that could be misleading.
Precisely. A URL might end in .pdf but actually serve you an error page or something else. Checking the content type adds reliability.
Good point. Then there's extract referral. I'm guessing this is like the YouTube one.
You guessed it. Uses a regular expression to scan text, find the first URL ending in .pdf, case insensitive, and pulls it out.
Handy if the link is buried in notes or an email.
Exactly. Saves you digging it out manually.
And again, these PDF functions are grouped together.
Yep, into a list called PDF tools. That's the specific toolkit Gemini uses for PDFs.
Okay. Moving to the document understanding module then. Similar chat setup.
Pretty much. Initialize the chat with Gemini 2.0 Flash, give it system instructions.
But the instructions are different this time, obviously.
Right. Here, the chatbot is told its job is analyzing PDF documents, generating summaries, answering questions about the content, using the PDF tools.
Does it mention specific functions, like summarize PDF?
Interestingly, the system instruction mentions summarize PDF, but if you look at the actual code provided in the notebook,
Yeah.
that specific function doesn't seem to be defined separately like the video ones were.
Huh. So how does it summarize PDFs then?
It seems like the PDF analysis, including summarizing, might be handled more directly by Gemini's core generate content capability when it's given the PDF data as input, rather than through a distinct custom function call defined in the notebook.
Okay, so maybe it's built in for PDFs.
Seems that way, based on the code shown. Anyway, the notebook then goes into a scripted demo using a real PDF URL.
Which one?
It's a research paper on AlphaFold from University College London.
AlphaFold, the protein folding AI. That's a serious paper.
It is a really significant paper in structural biology, a proper test for the AI's document skills.
So what's the first prompt they try?
Just summarize this document. Simple request.
And the result? How good was the summary?
Honestly, very comprehensive. It correctly identified the paper is about AlphaFold, the deep learning system for protein structure prediction.
Did it get the key ideas?
Absolutely. Highlighted the core concept predicting distances between amino acid residues. Mentioned the protein-specific potential function, the gradient descent optimization.
What about its performance?
Yeah, noted its high accuracy in the CASP13 competition and its biological importance.
Wow. Did it go into the technical details at all?
It did surprisingly well. Touched on the neural network architecture, the training data source, protein data bank, the components of the potential function, distances, angles, etc., the optimization method, LBFGS, even data augmentation techniques.
It's much more than just a surface-level summary. It seems to have really grasped the core of the paper.
It really captured the main advancements.
Okay, what was the next prompt? The study guide again.
Yep, generate a study guide for this document. And just like the video one, it created a really well-structured guide. Broke down that complex paper into manageable sections.
What kind of sections for a research paper?
Things like overview, key concepts and background, which was neat. It even gave context on older methods.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah. Then AlphaFold's approach, experimental results, analysis, biological relevance, future directions, even a list of important acronyms and definitions, and study questions at the end.
That's incredibly detailed. Did it flesh out those sections?
Oh, yeah. Under AlphaFold's approach, for instance, it went into the core idea, the components like neural nets, histograms.
Histograms.
Yeah, the probability maps of distances between amino acids. It mentioned the potential functions terms, the optimization details like noisy restarts. It really dug into the methodology.
Okay, that's impressive. It's not just skimming. It's building a framework for understanding.
Exactly. Provides a solid base for someone trying to learn about AlphaFold from that paper. Then they ask the key takeaways question again.
What are the key takeaways in this document? What did it pull out for AlphaFold?
Several crucial points. AlphaFold being a big step forward in protein prediction. The importance of predicting those distances accurately, the idea of the protein-specific potential.
The deep learning aspect.
Yep. The power of deep learning for this problem, the potential biological impact, the focus on residue distances specifically, and mentioning areas for future work. All spot-on takeaways from the paper.
Captures the essence really well. And the Q&A generation.
Same as before, generated a list of insightful questions and answers about the document.
What kind of questions for a scientific paper?
They dove into the basics, like what's the goal of protein structure prediction, but also specifics about AlphaFold's achievements, how it uses genetic info, what distograms are, the prediction steps, how performance was measured, mentioning CASB13 and TM score.
TM score, right? A common metric.
Exactly. Also potential applications, limitations, future work, really comprehensive stuff someone studying the paper would want to know.
It shows the AI isn't just finding keywords, it's synthesizing the information.
Definitely. Understanding the concepts well enough to ask relevant, probing questions. And finally, the quiz again.
Generate a short quiz along with answer keys for this document.
And once more, it delivered a relevant quiz.
What did it test on the AlphaFold paper?
Things like the main goal of protein prediction, what kind of info AlphaFold uses, the system's name, AlphaFold obviously, its CASP13 performance, the model type used for protein shape, a data augmentation method, and even what CASP stands for.
CASP, Critical Assessment of Protein Structure Prediction.
Exactly. And it provided the correct answers for all of them.
Again, that shows real comprehension, not just recall. It's identifying key concepts and testing understanding.
It really does. It's quite remarkable.
So wrapping this up, as we've gone through in this deep dive, this Kaggle notebook from Hien and Thanh Nguyen really gives a powerful demo, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Shows the potential of AI tools like Gemini for really digging into different kinds of sources, videos, complex papers.
And what stands out is just how fast and efficient it seems to be.
That's a huge point. Pulling out key insights, helping understand complex stuff quickly. Think about the time saved for researchers, students, anyone needing to process a lot of information.
It really feels like we're getting a peek at how we might process information in the future, knowledge acquisition getting an AI boost.
Imagine feeding AI the sources for your next project or just something you're curious about and getting back summaries, study guides, quizzes.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you think, doesn't it?
It definitely raises a big question for our listeners, I think.
Which is?
How might you use something like this kind of AI-powered analysis for the information you deal with in your own studies, your work?
Think about those research papers, the long webinars or conference talks, internal company documents even.
The possibilities are growing fast. And as this notebook shows, the potential to use AI to really enhance our understanding is just immense.